my name is Teresa Spiteri-Zidell. I am one of your adult services librarians at the Belleville Area District Library. This summer I will be featuring 2 videos on how to make pet treats from a variety of pet treat cookbooks. This week I will be featuring 5 cookbooks primarily focused with cats, but we do have some that have some dog recipes. So about 3 of these recipes you can feed to your cats or dogs. The first recipe I'll be showing comes from the book Cool Pet Treats. The recipe is called Cheesy Kitty Chews. This recipe includes 3/4 cup shredded cheddar cheese, a 1/4 cup grated Parmesan cheese, a 1/4 cup plain yogurt, 1 egg lightly beaten, 1 tablespoon vegetable oil, 1 tablespoon water, 3/4 cup flour, and a 1/4 cup cornmeal. All right, to start off, you want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and lightly grease a small to medium-sized baking pan. Now, we're going to stir together our cheese, our yogurt, our egg, oil, and water. We want to get these nice and stirred together. All right, now after the mixture is stirred really well, you want to add your flour and cornmeal. We're going to stir all that together again until make sure it's really well mixed. Now that the dough and the egg mixture is all mixed well together, you're going to want to cover your work surface with a little bit of flour and also put a little bit on your hands. We're now going to grab a small handful of the dough, form it into a small ball, and then we are going to roll it into a small cylinder. Once it's at your desired thickness, which they recommend about a fourth inch thick, you're going to want to cut 1/2 inch pieces. So we're going to cut. Now once all the dough has been rolled and cut, you're going to want to put it into the oven for about 15 minutes.
Okay. Good girl.
All right, now when the 15 minutes are up, we're going to pull out our little cheese chews, and then you're going to put them onto a cooling rack, and you're going to let them sit there until they are completely cool. All right, the second recipe today we're going to make from homemade meals for cats and dogs. The recipe is quite simple. It's called stuffed celery. All it requires is a 1/2 stalk of celery and 1 tablespoon of almond butter. All right, we're just going to take our almond butter, pretty much just spread it into the celery like we did when we were young. All right, and once you have all your celery stuffed with the almond butter, you're going to simply wrap it in this plastic wrap, and then we're going to throw into the freezer to freeze. All right, now that they're all wrapped in plastic wrap, I am going to put them into the freezer. And you'll probably want to leave them in there for about a good 30-40 minutes. I already had one in. And we have one nice and frozen. You can either feed it to your dog full, or if you have a smaller one, you can cut it up into little pieces. The third recipe will be coming from the cookbook Perfect Recipes for a Healthy Cat. The recipe is simple salmon balls, which includes a 12-ounce can of salmon, 1 egg, and 1 cup whole oats. All right, you're first going to want to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Lightly grease a baking pan. All right, and then in a blender or a food processor, you're going to want to pour in your oats. attach. And then we're going to want to pulverize the oats until they're very crumbly. All right, after the oats are nice and crumbly and mealy, we're going to dump in the canned salmon. Or in this case, I just measured out 12 ounces of salmon and 1 egg. Again, we are going to, I am processing it on high. Once the two are mixed well together, a nice and creamy texture, you can remove the lid and the blade. And then we're going to shape them into small balls. In my case, I'm going to use a scoop. Right. Shape them into a ball, and then we're going to place it onto the baking sheet. All right, when you have all your balls rolled out, we're now going to put them into the oven. And again, we're going to bake it for 350 degrees for another 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, we're going to pull out our salmon balls. And again, we're going to let them sit on a cooling rack until they have cooled down. The fourth recipe we'll be trying comes from the cookbook, the Healthy Homemade Pet Food Cookbook. The recipe we'll be trying will be Figgy Biscuits, which includes 1 tablespoon of molasses, 1 tablespoon of honey, 1 1/3 cup water, 2 tablespoons olive oil, a 1/2 cup of dried figs or dates. In this case, I have used dates, a 1/2 cup of chopped walnuts, 3 cups of whole wheat flour, and 1 teaspoon salt. All right, to begin, in a small bowl, we are going to mix the molasses, the honey, water, oil, dried fruit, and walnuts. Once the mixture is fully mixed, we are going to set it aside. And then in a large bowl, we are going to mix the 3 cups flour and the 1 teaspoon salt. Give it a nice little mix. All right, then in the center of the flour, you want to make a little well. And then we are going to pour in the molasses mixture. And then now we're going to mix thoroughly. All right, once your mixture is thoroughly mixed together, you want to make sure your baking sheet is either lined with parchment paper or sprayed with non-cooking spray. Then you're going to start taking some of the dough by the handful, roll it together to whatever desired shape you want. I am making little dog logs. And we're going to keep continuing until we use all the dough. All right, once you have the biscuits all laid out onto the baking sheet, we're now going to put it into the oven. Again, at 375 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're going to cook it for another 15 minutes. And after 15 minutes, we're now going to take our biscuits out, and we're going to let them cool on the oven or a cooling rack for about 10 minutes to let them cool. Our final recipe for the day comes from Cooking for Two, Your Cat and You. So this book has recipes that you and your favorite feline can share. The recipe we're going to be doing today is called Real Popcorn. So we're going to be making popcorn with our cats, which includes 3 tablespoons of peanut oil or canola oil for this instance, and then a 1/3 cup of popcorn kernels. All right, we're going to heat our pan up to a medium high. And then we are going to add our oil. We're going to let it heat up for a moment. All right, for start, we're going to add just a couple test kernels. And we're going to cover the pan. And we are going to wait until they start popping. All right, and when the first testing kernels start popping, we want to remove it from the heat. We're going to add our remaining kernels. And wait, and wait 30 seconds. And then after 30 seconds, we're going to return the pan to the heat and cover the lid. And now we're going to wait for the kernels to begin popping. When the kernels begin popping, we're going to tilt the lid a little bit to let some steam out. And we're going to shake the pan gently. And they all should start popping together. As we are finishing popping, we're going to remove our popcorn. Once we put them into the bowl, you can set some aside for your kitty. For humans, you can add butter or seasoning. But for the cats, you want to leave it plain as it is. Okay, here is our finished products. As you can see, someone really likes the popcorn, my little sometimes helper. At this time, we do not have any cats, but feel free to check out the books. They'll be on display when this video is uploaded. And comment us how your pet's reactions. But I do have a puppy who I am going to try to give the treat to and see how she likes it. We're going to try the celery. There you go. Oh, is it?
Oh yeah, she's liking it. Look at her go. Is that good? Yeah.
Good girl.